a friend of the Muellers. Kayla was a student at Northern Arizona University in campus ministry among all the different organizations that she was involved in. And since then I've kept up with her and know her and her family. And they've asked some of us to come and give you a few words of ways that we know Kayla, maybe words that aren't quite so scripted. So if I can get through it, I think about 2 minutes, they said, for each of us. As far as Syria goes, when Kayla was at campus ministry, she was part of a Just Peace group, and we would talk about peace through justice. You can't have peace without justice. And we met, we would have a simple dinner, and we would read books and talk about articles through a variety of lenses. And together, a group of us traveled to Guatemala to hear their stories and just keep that conversation going. So when Kayla was in Syria, I tried to follow what she was doing, and I would read her posts, and it was really like keeping vigil because it was so difficult to read about the horror that was happening in Syria and to see the pictures that she would post. And I have a few words from some of the things that she posted in March of 2013, and she said, "I want to tell the world about the situation in Syria. There's no fuel, there's no electricity, there's no food. This is the situation. There's shelling, explosions, gunfire, violence. No one's working. There's no jobs. People are just surviving day to day, living for the sake of living. Every human being should act. They should stop this violence. People are fleeing. We can't bear this. It's too much." And she says, "I hope you can tell the entire world what I have said here and what I've seen." And that's what we're doing. We're telling the whole world. Kayla asked us, and I think you saw one of her quotes when they said, "Where is the world?" And that we can say, "We're right here, Syria. We've seen your suffering reflected in Kayla's eyes, and we've seen it, and we intend to do something about it." And then, when I watched those posts, when we were thinking about having an attack, and many of us were writing Kayla saying, "What do you think about this military suggestion?" And there was no word from Kayla. And I had just seen her in May when she was home. And then we got word that she had been kidnapped. And so we've taken that long journey with her, where we were forced to hold our breath. All these stories about Kayla, she sounds so extraordinary. But what was so extraordinary about Kayla is she did ordinary things to extraordinary measures. She gave people food. She gave people water. She looked for clothes. She looked for houses. One of her posts said, "I have a family of 8, and they need to stay somewhere for a month. I need $191, and not one NGO can give that to me." Can you believe that? And she talked that the Syrian refugees were giving Syrian refugees money. And so when we find that post, we find her resilience. It's not that she was so angelic. It's that she just saw things and did whatever she could with whatever she could. It was just her heart, her mind, her guitar, her pen, her computer. And then in prison, what we've seen from that letter is that she just continued to be free. And I thought I'd share with you a couple funny things we heard, if you believe, in prison. And some people told us that Kayla tried to teach the guards crafts to make origami, little cranes, little peace cranes. And that they told each other stories and they sang each other songs, that they tried to exercise in that small space and that Kayla would stand on her head. And we just, those of us who know her and know what a free little spirit she was, we just delight in that Kayla remained Kayla. And they tried to silence her. They locked her up. They kept us silent out of fear. But now she's free. And she says that she found freedom even in captivity, and that she is grateful. So her light shines. And we thank you for shining your light not on Kayla, but shine your light on the suffering that Kayla saw. And let's tell Syria, we hear ya, and we're going to do something.
Kayla was my closest friend, my kindred spirit. always fun. A memory that always makes me laugh is when our car broke down, half a mile from my mom's house. We could have easily walked that half a mile and found someone to tow the car, but what fun would that be? So, instead we turned on Bob Marley full blast on the radio, and with the car in neutral, we started pushing that golden brown chariot home, only pausing a few moments to take some memorable silly pictures. Our last road trip together was January of 2010. I was moving from Illinois to Arizona, and she joined me and my 2 cats as our traveling companions. It was a difficult journey, as I was leaving my family halfway across the country. But her friendship and support eased my pain and brought joy to the adventure. Kayla had such great empathy, and it's hard to find that in this world. It's really rare, and it was her greatest strength. She had this amazing ability to share another person's suffering and still add a little happiness to it. And she could always find that silver lining. I want to share with you a part of a journal entry that Kayla wrote. It was right before we took that road trip. This is Kayla. For anyone who might be wondering why I'm in Illinois, let me explain. A dear friend of mine is packing her belongings up and moving out west to her beloved state of Arizona. I'm just along for the road trip, back to share a few giggles and make sure nobody falls asleep at the wheel. I can try a hand at changing a tire or something, but no guarantees of that one. There have been many long goodbyes and a release of tears that have been residing in deep places over these last 2 days. It has been interesting to observe the bitter of the sweet that is this situation. I've been reflecting on how I will do the same thing very soon. Goodbyes have never been too hard for me. They don't seem to be something in need of being made difficult or complicated. Sometimes I get a feeling that tells me if I will or will not see a person again, making it easier and sometimes harder. But moving on and away from things is as much a part of life as breathing. It is an integral, renewing, and necessary venture for growth and discovery. Goodbyes come with the package. Although goodbye is really just a see you later, later might be a while, but as the French say, c'est la vie. I'm not yet sure how to live in a world without Kayla, but I do know that we're all living in a better world because of her. So I'm going to end on a quote that reminds me of her. Peace is not something you wish for. It's something you make. It's something you do. It's something you are. And it's something you give away. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Lori. I'm Terry. I'm the sister of Kayla's aunt. And this is a statement from Kayla's aunts, uncles, and cousins. First, we would like to thank the media for your patience. Second, we would like to thank the FBI agents that have been working with Marsha, Carl, Eric, the family. They have been amazing. We want to thank everyone for their love, support, prayers at this difficult time. It has been a stressful time for our family and also for the world. What can we tell you about Kayla? Kayla was a combination of Marsha and Carl. She was generous, caring, compassionate like our sister Marsha. She was strong, driven, and passionate like our brother-in-law Carl. She was the best of both of them. She had a quiet, calming presence. She was a free spirit, always standing up for those who were suffering and wanting to be their voice. Even as a little girl, Kayla was a bright, inquisitive, kind little girl. At a very young age, Kayla knew her passion. She knew her calling. A lot of people never have the opportunity to say that. Kayla's calling was to help those who were suffering, whether in her hometown of Prescott or on the other side of the world. She has done more in her incredible 26 years than many people people could ever imagine doing in their lifetime. My daughter said to me, things that were important to Kayla are finally getting the attention that they deserve. Kayla has touched the heart of the world. The world grieves with us. The world mourns with us. The world wants to be more like Kayla. And if that is her legacy and the footprint that she leaves on the world, then that is a wonderful thing. In Kayla's letter to Marcia and Carl, she wrote, I have come to see there is good in every situation. Sometimes we just have to look for it. Right now, that's what we're all trying to do.